This is a spaceship I'm working on. Today I'm showing you how I'm making the bedroom module. Let's get right into it. I'm using styrene a lot in this project. It's easy to cut, shape, sand and glue. Perfect for a build like this. This module consists of a sleeping pod and an office nook built into the wall. I'm making those separately and connecting them to the wall later. For no particular reason, I'm starting off with an office nook. I'm going for a realistic style, so I'm planning in 1:1 scale and dividing the measurements by 35. I'm installing lights once all the rooms are done, so make sure to follow along as the project progresses. I realize I haven't planned for leg space under the desk. I don't want another box, so I repurpose these fenders, glue them together, reinforce them with styrene, and cut away a space under the office nook. Let's cover those ugly gaps with 1x1mm styrene strips. For drawer fronts, I'm using these keys from a broken laptop. Hey, these are not broken after all. Well, that was fun. So fun indeed that it deserves a like and a subscribe, I think. After sanding away all proof that these were keys, I glued them in place and add more styrene strips and details to give this otherwise flat and boring wall some more interest. I figure this room needs some extra soundproofing, being a bedroom in space, and I finally get to use a mesh I've had lying around for ages. It's a type of plastic that sticks really well to superglue, and I think it adds a lot to the room. As mentioned, I'm installing lights later, but because of bad planning, I need another channel for the wires going to the computer. I won't be able to run wires from the bottom once the office nook is glued to the wall. I think this will work. The room looks very flat, so I'm adding more depth by building out part of the wall above the office. This gives me an opportunity to add more details, like this air intake. I'm also making some trim to make it look more integrated. I both love and hate detail work like this. All the 3D models used in this build are available on my Patreon, except these things. I seem to have lost the files. Sorry. After adding a few more details and gluing the wall to the floor, it's coming together. But the drawers need handles. I make those by cutting these styrene I-beams in half. I make a quick jig to mark the center of each drawer, then glue the handles in place. Since I already have the I-beam out, I'm also making a curtain hanger for the sleeping pod. The curtain is made using green stuff. I remove the cured middle part where the blue and yellow meet and mix it well. Flatten it as much as I can with my fingers and trim it to size. I wrinkle it up in baking paper. This is the first time I'm trying this, and I think it actually works really well. A forgot to show a comparison, but the side of the green stuff that touched the baking paper gets a great matte surface. I attach it with the side facing out. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It finally gives the room that lived-in quality it was missing. I need more floor detail, so I'm using one of the doorways to find the center of the room. It's maybe still a little plain, but adding panels like this is better than nothing. It also helps sell the illusion that the ship continues outside the edge of the cutaway. The office chair is based on the same design as the pilot chair from the cockpit build. This helped reinforce the idea that the whole ship comes from the same manufacturer. Luckily, the kit I stole the pilot's chair from has two identical ones, so I just repeated the process, but made this without the headrest and joystick. I also want to add some ring folders to the office. I think they will help with the analogue aesthetic I'm going for. Not sure if this was worth the extra couple of hours of editing? Let me know. I imagine different colored folders indicating different types of content. Blue for structure, order and systems, yellow for warnings and information, red for important things like cargo manifests and security protocols. Before moving on, I want to give a huge thank you to my newest patrons. Corax, Daniel, and Son of Anton. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your support. Alright, let's start painting what we have so far. I'll start with a grey primer mixed with dark brown as the first layer. Once that's dry, I add a grimy grey highlight. The same ratio and paints I used in the previous rooms. This works great as a base for the main colors. Let's just pretend those bubbles are stains and it's supposed to be there. The smaller details come in the wash and highlight stages, so I'm pretty fast and loose at this point. It looks rough now, but a liberal coat of enamel wash ties everything together. It's almost like cheating because it's so fast and easy to apply, and dabbing it away gives a warm and rich look. I know it's going to be hard to reach the folders once the office nook is glued in place, so I am attaching them now. Alright, now I can start working on the sleeping pod. The window is 3D modeled with the same dimensions as the cockpit windows, and the mattress follows the same style as the chairs. All of this helps tie the modules together. I researched Japanese pod hotels to see what's normally included and decided to add a communication system, lights, a clothes hanger, ventilation, and a TV. The TV is attached later to make painting easier. I've learned from past mistakes. The parts that aren't 3D printed are kitbashed from a 1/35th scale military vehicle kit. The same priming stages go on the sleeping pod. Being the most private room in the ship, I want to add some personal posters. These are made by bashing together 40s and 50s posters and magazine covers, changing titles and colors to make them more space themed. They're sealed with matte Mod Podge under and over the paper to keep everything in place and prevent any potential color bleeding. The mattress looks too pristine and shows no sign of actually being used, so I sand it down to make it look worn. To be honest, it doesn't really show in the end, but at least you know I thought about it. The TV gets its UV resin screen before getting the same treatment as the rest. Now I'm applying black panel liner or pin wash to bring out the details. This is a very enjoyable and rewarding step. It darkens some areas, so I finish with a highlight stage. The contrast between really dark and really light gives the details a crisp finish. I cut a small piece of plastic from a blister pack and glue it to the window frame with a tiny amount of super glue. And with that, this bedroom module is done. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like this kind of content and want to follow my progress in this project. In the next episode, I am making the engine room. Until next time, goodbye.